It always takes a second. Hey guys. So good to have Joey Bada Bing in here at 7:30, bro. You ready, huh? And then
first thing he did when he got up.
Yeah. When he got out of the mail truck, we were talking about it earlier. That's funny about him. I hopped in Jimmy's yard sale haul live recap earlier today, and Joey, they were talking about him being there.
That's funny.
So, and then Chris is in here. I just saw him in Tim's chat on the cards. And Steve-O and Miss Sharon, good to have you in. So we'll get started here in a minute. Miss Annie, Tim's in the house. Pittsburgh. Man, my chat just jumped like crazy, like 5-7 comments.
The wave.
Yeah.
The wave. Everybody's excited to meet Kathy.
There we go. So Miss Annie, Tim, Anthony in the house. Kat's in the house. Miss Janet's in the house. Let's see. Frank and Michelle.
Frank.
Good to have all you guys popping in. Well, guys, we are going to go ahead and get started here pretty shortly.
Sorry. I'm just see the chat on my phone because I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I can't see the chat. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you pop it up on the on YouTube, like I said, you just have to mute it, but otherwise it back feeds up in there. And Johnny's showing up. Talking about Sam had the video with Craigslist Hunter. And he so
I was very lucky. Pete was very generous. So just stay tuned. It'll be my turn to put out my video on how I met Pete. So
yeah. So guys, for those of you that may or may not know Kathy from Ginger Marvin, initially when Sam, we were talking about Ginger Marvin, I was like, is Ginger really her first name? Because I had seen your channel and I was like, man, I said, that's cool. Redheaded and with the name Ginger. Like, but fellow redhead here. So we're happy to have her on, but we're going to let her go ahead and introduce herself and kind of tell you guys a little bit about who she is and what she does. And then we'll go into some Q&A. So if you have questions for her, as always, put them in caps in the chat and we'll make sure we get to them. And if I miss it, somebody else just ask the question again and put it in caps. We'll try to make sure we get to it. And thank you guys for all being here. I saw Nikki T hop in. Good to see you as well. Chris, Cajun Resellers, a fellow redhead. So we glad to have him. Yep. So Kathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Yeah, my name's Kathy or Catherine or Ginger. I'll go by any of those. I am a full-time reseller. I sell mostly kids' clothes, shoes, and yeah. I've been selling for about 4 years. I do Poshmark, Mercari, Kittison, eBay. I have 2 kids, 4 and almost 6 tomorrow, 2 little boys, and I'm married to Chris. If you watch any of our videos, he does the intros to most of them, so pretty boring. That's mostly what I do these days. So.
All right.
For we were talking in the backstage and Kathy's telling us how she got her channel started at the end of March. Just something to do during the COVID thing. Her channel is kind of blown up with her boring videos that she does with her husband, Chris. I think that's awesome. I think that's fantastic that you guys are kind of doing that like little duo help,
It was his idea. I always was against doing YouTube because I'm pretty shy and I don't really like to put myself out there. So but he finally convinced me, and then people watched and people left nice comments. So I was like, all right, try again. And we just kept putting out videos. So
well, he's like very comfortable in front of the camera too, which is nice.
A lot more than I am. Yeah. He says he's not, but everyone always tells him he speaks very well and stuff on the camera. So
I mean, he's doing a good job of faking it if he doesn't think he's doing a good job.
Yep.
And he's commenting on your organization behind you with all your boxes neatly stacked.
That was as well. So
oh yeah.
I have a picture on my Instagram. I think it used to just be hanging racks, and it looked very messy, and it bothered him. So he built the shelves, and he built them to fit our specific space. And then we did the banker boxes instead of totes, just to maximize the space a little bit more. And
wow,
yeah,
that's awesome. That's
go
awesome.
Chris.
Ever since we've had the shelves, I've been able to like do double the amount of sales, listings, everything, just because the process has gotten way easier. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can Chris talk to my wife? I need like customized shelves too to double my efficiency. Holy smoke. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
I'm looking around my eBay room right now saying
if you could see my piles of messes over here,
that's a reseller we know. The pile of mess.
Yeah.
Well, so like what kind of got you into reselling and then like led you down the rabbit hole of kids' clothes? I really haven't heard of Kittison until you, honestly.
So like 5 years ago, I was just garage sailing, and we bought like some cheap end tables for like $10, and then we sold them on Marketplace for like $50 the same day. So like I had a thought of, hey, I could probably do this more often. I've never heard of reselling or anything like that. I didn't know that people do this for money or a job or anything like that. So after that, I was just kind of going to garage sales, buying kids' clothes, mainly for my kids, but a lot of times people would have like fill a bag for $5. So I'd put in a bunch of extra clothes and take them to like the Once Upon a Child. Have you guys heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
that's what we source clothes actually.
Buy, sell, trade stores. So I'm paying $5 for a bag. They'd give me like $40 and not even take it all. So then I'd be left with stuff, but I've already profited a little. And then I ended up having so much extra stuff. I'm like, what am I going to do with all this? I might as well try to sell it. So I was looking for an app or a website to sell kids' clothes on. And right when I started, there was one called Totswap or Totspot, one of those. Anyways, it got bought out by Poshmark basically the week I was about to start doing it. So it was either that or Kittison. So that kind of made my decision for me as to go with Kittison. And so at first I just started listing all this stuff. This was like cheap kids' clothes, like Carter's, the basic stuff that most kids have. I was selling stuff for like $8 shipped, and then you're netting like $3 to $4 an item. And then I'd just run big sales in my shop. So I'd list like 100 things and be like 50% off 2 or more items. It wasn't like a huge thing. It wasn't a full-time job, obviously. But yeah, it just kind of grew from there. I started Kittison's kind of more into like the higher end kids clothing. I'm sure if you've checked out the app, you'd notice a lot of what I sell now, I'm selling for 20 plus for single items of kid stuff, which not a lot of people in the world are paying that much for their kid stuff. But I just kind of learned the brands and stuff that sell for the highest profit. And now when I go to thrifts and consignment and everything, those are the things I look for. So instead of making $3 to $5 off an item, I'm making 10 to 15, sometimes 20. So.
Yeah, when I got into
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're saying earlier that you've sold over 2,000 items now on Kittison, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So on my formal shop is called Gingerbread Threads. So that was I thought, clever name when I came up with the shop name. I have 2257 sales.
Yeah.
I had a second shop because then I started a second Kittison just to sell shoes out of. Because then I realized I like selling shoes, even kid shoes. So I started a second shop just for shoes because they cost a little more to ship, and I was still running the 50% off sales in my clothing shop. So I didn't want to like have people buying the shoes at the half off price. So yeah, so I have 300 sales on. So I have about 2,600 sales on Kittison now. But I've been on for about 4 years almost. So.
Guys, I'll give a little commercial because she's going to be talking some about Kittison. So what I was going to tell you guys is in the description of this video, if you're interested in Kittison, there is a link there. That's Ginger's link for that and how to get started, that kind of thing. We have her channel down there as well. So if you're not subbed to her, you want to know a little bit more about this kind of stuff, definitely do that. Yeah, but I dropped the link about your basically your referral code, because you are honestly you're the only one I've ever heard this even from was Kittison. And I even told Tim today, and if you don't know, over the years, Tim, I said, Tim, I finally heard of a platform that you're not on, because you see he has about 8 or 9 of them that he's working with. Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, I've heard of it. But yeah. So Sam, you were working on something.
Well, when I first started reselling, we were just clearing space for the baby, and then we ended up getting a bunch of stuff just given to us from family. So naturally, like I was just starting up reselling at the same time, so I'm like, oh, can I sell kids' clothes? And the overwhelming answer was no at the time. And then I found you probably like a couple weeks later. I was like, well, it's not no, just yeah. So it was cool to kind of find you, because you were really one of the only folks kind of talking about it. I mean, besides clothes, do you look into like baby accessories or hard goods for kids too?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I don't know if we sold some of our old strollers recently. I have also sold, like, when I was going to the bins more, I would pick up like strollers or bigger items like that, but I would sell them at our local consignment sales. Not like Once Upon a Child, but like the sales where you tag your own stuff, so you can tag it for like $50. So buying a stroller for $5, selling it for like $50, and then like a 30% cut at those sales. So stuff like that. But I don't sell a whole lot of hard goods on the internet for kids stuff.
Yeah, because I tell people, like, we found one person on Mercari. They had some sort of like stroller rental service. A deal that they worked out with Disney, and whenever Disney was done with them, they could flip it on Mercari for a few hundred. And they were like the 3-seater, 4-seater strollers. I'm like, how the heck? Because we're like, are you drop shipping? Like, how are you getting these? Like, what is happening? So I think there's some serious money in that.
Mercari has like the highest shipping rates, like pound wise. Like I think they have like a 50 or 30 or something pounds that you can ship. So you can probably sell some strollers through there pretty easily. I actually started on Mercari before Kittison even, but it was like back when they didn't even charge a 10% fee. It was still like beta Mercari.
Yeah.
And I was selling a bunch of kids' clothing lots back then. Like I put like 10 onesies for like $10 shipped. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. So what all platforms do you sell on?
Kittison, Mercari, Poshmark, eBay. eBay is my newest. I've only really been on it this year, 2020, but it's also been the best one. So I'm kicking myself for not starting that sooner. So
now, do you cross list on these platforms? Like,
yeah, I've been using List Perfectly. Have you heard of that?
Yes. Yeah.
So that has really upped the game. So I was using their $29 a month, but once they added Kittison like a month or so ago, I bumped it up to the $49 a month, and that I can cross list so fast to all 4 platforms. So it's so worth the $50 a month. I make way more than that from the stuff I can get listed.
So the thing I always ask the cross listers is, have you ever sold the same thing twice?
Not really. I'm pretty good about it. I'm a little bit OCD, so and I'm on my phone like all the time. So if I see something sold, I automatically take it down. I don't list my listings to List Perfectly and then put them on the other platforms. Like I list them to Posh and then put them to the others. So, but if you do list them straight to List Perfectly, they have like I think end item button that takes them off all the other platforms for you. So I need to start doing that, but yeah, pretty much ends all the listings if you say that it's sold on one of them.
So what's the reason behind like just putting it on Posh instead of using?
I just feel like it's extra work to put it on there first, but then I guess it's not, because then in the end it's a little extra work to delist all the 3 others by myself. But I just put them on Posh first because I think Posh is the easiest place to list to. It takes the least amount of information, and I think I put it there and then take it to all the others.
There you go. There you go. I know I was talking with Tim a few days ago on a live stream, and he uses List Perfectly. And I was telling him about how great it is, like, for me to make money while you're sleeping. Like, when you hear, you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, I got 5 sales. He's like, because he lists on like 8 platforms or something crazy.
That's crazy.
He has a ton of them. So he's like, he goes, for me, it's more of a panic. He goes, when I wake up in the morning and I see I've sold a bunch of stuff, I'm like immediately checking to make sure I didn't double sell something.
Yep.
But I was like, I said, the guy who comes up with that button and says, hey, it's going to automatically delist it on the other one. But I don't know how that would even work. Like,
level panic.
I list stuff a little bit higher on like Poshmark and Mercari. Like, okay, I pretty much list at my almost lowest price, and then that's usually where stuff sells. So like on Posh and Mercari, I have woken up to where I have offers on an item that did sell on eBay, but then I would just, put the item down before I accept the offer. So normally I never get full price sales on Mercari or Poshmark. So that's kind of, I guess, how I work it to where it doesn't double sell.
There you go. So that's a good tip. I mean, for you guys that are using List Perfectly and doing that's definitely a good tip to make sure that you're not getting that double sale, or at least if you are, you have an option then, right? But of course, everybody always says like you're going to sell it through eBay and like decline the rest because nobody else punishes you like eBay if you cancel an order. So how long have you been reselling, like
about since 2016. For the first 2 years, it was just kind of like hobby-ish, just listing stuff when I had time. My kids were really small then, so they took a lot more attention and everything, where I'd probably list like 10 items a week. Now I'm listing 70 to 100. So I try to keep all my stores around 1,000 active listings, and
wow, it's pretty impressive for sure. So you pretty much do it like, as far as are you pretty much selling full time on now, and then your husband working another job, or are you guys?
He's not really. He's a woodworker, but he was doing it just out of our garage for the last few years, and he just kind of didn't want to do that anymore. So he likes woodworking. He just doesn't like deadlines and stuff like that. And like,
sure.
It's hard because woodworking, he's making like these really nice pieces, so you have to charge a lot of money to make your money for all your time that you're spending, plus the materials. And people don't understand why a table would cost $1,500 to $2,000 because it's taking him like a week to do it, So when you can go buy one at American Furniture for like $500, so they don't understand the good quality wood and all this work that goes into a handmade table. So he just kind of does it more as hobby woodworking, making stuff for us or friends or family. But and then he helps his mom do a lot of stuff where she pays him. But other than that, he watches the kids so I can do my work. But
I think that's awesome. We where it's like, I guess, delegation of family duties, and I know we had talked about how he supports it with YouTube. I think that's fantastic.
That's if we can get YouTube going, eventually we kind of want to like buy a house to rent out or flip or something. Like, that's kind of the goal with YouTube, is to make enough money per month to pay a mortgage on a house.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Kat was dropping in the chat about similar circumstances. I don't know if you know the nurse flipper Kat. She nurses, resells, but her husband does the same stuff.
I was actually just watching. I wanted to watch one of your videos to kind of see what we were doing, and that's the one that I watched, the one with you guys and Kat. So I watched that earlier today.
That's the one that we had so much technical difficulty on. You're probably like, oh, I'll be okay if I don't know about the computer. Thanks, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a rough one. Like as far as the tech stuff, when the internet doesn't cooperate and you're doing online, it makes it a little tough. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So you, we were talking earlier about you and Becky Park. Like so you kind of showed her the Kittison thing, and so talk a little bit about that, like you guys' connection, how you got involved with each other. I'm not for sure if everybody in here is even familiar with Becky, but Becky Park on Poshmark. But
yeah, so like I've kind of got into, so I was just selling kid stuff, and then a year or two ago, Chris was telling me that like, did you know there's a bunch of resellers on YouTube that like put out content and like teach you like what to sell and stuff. So that's when I started branching out to like adult clothes, shoes, and stuff like that. So I found Becky. I've been watching her. I was telling these guys that I don't really like comment on people's videos, not because I'm like a jerk. I just forget. Like I honestly always forget to thumbs up or do any of that stuff. So I need to be better about that. But so I was just kind of a behind the scenes watcher for a year or so, and I watched all these reselling channels and just kind of got to learn that way. And then yeah, one day I heard Becky mention she wanted to get started on Kittison, and that's the thing I was best at, so I just offered to give her any advice or let me know if she has any questions. And yeah, so she
that's awesome
up on that, and then she had me on her channel, which definitely got us going on YouTube pretty well, so
yeah,
very thankful to her for that. So
well, I mean, and then Eric and I would talk about YouTube all the time, and we know that sometimes those shout outs can be kind of empty. And I think what you did differently I don't think it was just a Becky Park shout out. I think you shared a lot of knowledge and value when you went on our show too. So I think, for all of us, I mean, at least for me, I got onto YouTube just looking, to learn something. So it's nice that you can be another resource for that, especially when I don't really know too many folks who talk about selling clothes or kids' clothes.
Yeah. And so that's like when I'm watching YouTube, that's why I like doing What's Sold, is because I like watching What's Sold. Like that's how I learn brands. That's how I learn different things like hard goods and whatnot. And even like Kat's channel, I'm always blown away by like the jewelry and like the weird stuff. Like I hate selling everything that you sell, Kat, but like it's so amazing all the stuff that you sell and for how much it sells for. So just learning different stuff from like everybody. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think we all, I lurked on YouTube for a while myself. Like I would never say anything. I just was hanging in the back, like watching What's Sold, it's like trying to figure out how to resell. And then, for us, I think just different people gravitate to different things that they like. For me, it was honestly in the beginning, it was purely education. It was purely like what's selling and how do I do it? Like, how do I find it? How do I process it? How do I ship it out? Like, I mean, really, that's what I was watching for. And then along the way, you find people that are that are entertaining.
Mm-hmm. You just click with them more than others. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, and honestly, I watched some people on YouTube, and that's kind of what got me going on it, because I looked and said, well, man, if that guy can do it, I can do what he's doing, like that kind of thing. But
yeah.
So Tommy has a question for you. Has this been asked? He just got here, but is there a way to see solds on Kittison?
Not really. Like if you go to each person's profile, you can see solds, like their solds, personal solds, but you can't like search comps like on eBay or Poshmark. Yeah, so that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully eventually maybe, but when you are listing an item, they give a suggested price at the bottom, which I found is a lot of times accurate. When I was first starting, I was just listing stuff. I didn't even care what it was going to sell for. I didn't know that there was a certain amount stuff was supposed to sell for, or I didn't even know that sort of thing. So, yeah, like whenever I do stuff now, I look on eBay or Poshmark. But for kids stuff, I kind of already just figured it out. I'd noticed if something sold like in the first day, I probably underpriced it, and then the next time I had that item, I'd up it a few bucks and see how long it took, and then kind of go from there. If if it sells fast, I can probably add a couple bucks next time. If it takes forever, drop the price.
So how did, I mean, I'm not familiar with the app at all, to be honest. Like I said, so for me, I mean, how is it more similar to like Poshmark? I mean, are you having to share a closet or do any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's most similar to Posh than the other ones. It does take extra work, like the sharing and stuff. Like you don't have to share your stuff, but if you don't, it gets buried, and the only way to bring it back up is to share it. So, honestly, since I'm listing to 4 places currently, I don't really share much anymore. I kind of just list. If you're listing every day, I would say you don't need to really share because people are still going to find your shop by your new listings. But yeah, I don't share my Poshmark closet much either. Maybe like once every few days. So
I got you. So pretty much you're getting a lot more like repeat business, kind of.
Yeah, like if you post the right, like on Kittison, I only post items mostly that are popular brands and stuff for kids that I know are going to sell. So if you're posting that kind of stuff, you don't really need to do the extra work of sharing and whatnot. But if you're just selling Carters or, average stuff that everybody has, then you probably want to share it.
So it's like a lot of things. You're just looking to source better items, find out what's actually selling on that platform, and then try to put that on there.
Yeah.
Tommy asked about VAs, like virtual assistants. Is it friendly to that, like the way Posh is?
I would probably say no. And I've never even tried a VA for Posh because I'm too scared that they're using a bot and I don't want to get my account shut down. So, and I also don't like the thought that they have to log into your account to share. So,
sure.
But yeah, I don't think, if you're comfortable giving someone your password and paying them, then I don't think there's like rules against doing that. So,
yeah. But, yeah, I don't
know. It takes a while to, like, I could share 1,000 items on Poshmark in about 30 minutes. On Kittison, it'd probably take closer to an hour. Sharing's a little bit slower.
Yeah, that's I tried Poshmark for like a minute. Like literally I put about 5 items up and then I was like, not really my thing. But we had a conversation about backstage before we came on. It's funny how more guys seem to gravitate to hard goods and more ladies are like more in the clothing.
Yeah, I love watching like Cincinnati Picker, Part-Time Pickers, all those guys because they sell the cool hard goods. And sometimes now whenever I go to Goodwill, I go to the hard goods section and anything that's new in box, I'll like scan because like that's what the Matt from Part-Time Pickers always does. And I found some good stuff to sell that way. So, and I figure if it's new in box, it's like $1 or $2. It's probably worth the risk. So.
Yeah.
I have a bolo for you for baby stuff.
Yeah.
Sakura Bloom. Have you heard of that brand?
Nope.
They make a whole bunch of slings and carriers.
Oh, okay.
And they almost like they have like their own like cult following. Like people wait for their stuff to drop. It's limited, and then once it drops, like the aftermarket for it is usually double, triple the price. So we're like flipping a ring sling for like $150. Something stupid. Like
that's amazing. Yeah, when I first had my kids, like the brand Tula was like the hot thing, but now back then they were like retail $150, and you could pretty much sell them for $150 or more because the prints would sell out, and then you could sell it for a higher amount. But
yeah,
I just tried to sell ours recently, and I only got about $75 for it. So
jeez.
I'm sure it's like a stock market.
Yep. Just never know; it can die any minute.
Yeah, Tommy had put the thing about having access to pallets of direct from retail shelf pulls, name brand clothes like Ralph Lauren, etc. Could you give him any advice on that? As far as, is it worth it to buy, maybe to sell on eBay?
I mean, $1.25 per piece. I'd probably, yeah. I mean, like Ralph Lauren, I sell like my kids' button down, so for like $15 ship. So you're not gonna make like huge money, but you could probably sell a Ralph Lauren for like $15. So if you're okay with like $7-8 profit per item, that's probably worth it. I'll pretty much buy anything for $1 because I don't care to make 20 off everything I sell, so I just list as much as I can, and some are $5 profit, some are 50,
So I agree with Tracy, what Tracy says there. I do think Kittison is kind of clunky to kind of navigate around. Any tips around that to help with your flow?
I don't know if you've seen my Kittison 101 video, but I kind of like, it's long, almost an hour, but I do go piece by piece of Kittison and kind of break it down to what's important or not important. So I pretty much go over every little part and like say, this, because when you first go on, the main screen's kind of a lot going on, and if you don't understand it, you're probably just going to leave. So yeah. I kind of go over what I think is important if you want to make sales. So maybe you want to watch that, but mainly the things I think are important are just listing daily. Right when you open the app at the very top, it says just in. So that's the feed, and it's super slow compared to like a Poshmark feed or something like that. Like people don't list as much. Like I could scroll my whole feed of the whole day in like, a few minutes versus Poshmark, thousands and thousands of items probably get listed every day. So you couldn't really scroll it all. But anyways, if you're listing every day, you're always going to be right at the top of that just in feed. So I think that's the most important thing. But yeah.
That's funny. Tracy. Somebody signed up, so she didn't want to shut it down.
Kittison does have the best referral program, which is one of the things I love about it.
Yeah, I know you told us a little bit about it. You want to speak more about it for folks who are not on Kittison?
Yeah, so if anyone joins with your code, they get $5 for signing up, and then you get 20% of anything they buy or sell in their first 30 days. So a lot of people, like you said, you want to give up, but if you don't give up, if you can help people make sales, you're going to get 20% of everything they sell. And if they buy stuff, you're going to get 20% of everything they buy. So to put that in perspective, most even low dollar items on Kittison are $10. So if somebody buys some for $10, you're getting $2. I've had some referrals make me close to $100 just in what they're selling, and it's not any extra work.
Yeah.
To have people.
And I know you said it's not straight cash, so you kind of reuse it within the Kittison ecosystem.
Yeah, it's just like kid bucks, so you can use them in the app to buy other things. Most of the time I buy something for my kids to wear or like shoes or something, but sometimes there's nothing I want to buy, but I have some and I'll buy something that I know I can flip for cash. So basically break even, but I'm getting actual cash versus, Kittison credit.
Yeah. Kitty bucks.
Yeah.
That's yeah, it is one of those things. I mean, I would think as far as it's funny, I've listened to several people who've got into reselling, and initially they were getting into reselling because, like, okay, if it was a guy who was into video games, he was looking to build a video game collection and selling video games to get what he wanted, right? And then, you listen to other people that may be collecting something else entirely different, but they're doing that. Or there's some people, like I would think, as far as especially a parent of younger kids, Kittison probably would be one of those little niches where it'd be awesome to jump in, and basically you could recycle your kids' clothes for one.
Yeah.
You could pay for your kids' clothes because, being a parent, that's something that any way that you can save some money on items that aren't going to be used. She went dark on us.
Sorry. The computer's behind me. We're keeping the light on my face. So
there you go. But we, that could be huge. I mean, you think of young parents or anybody kind of starting out, or like myself anymore. It's hard to pay up for items. Like after being a picker and a reseller and all that kind of stuff, you're looking at, I was like, I can get that cheaper than that, that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you watch my what sold, like you'll notice a lot. I'll say, this was my kid's shorts. I paid $30 for these, but I sold them for $35. So I really got my $30 back, and my kid got to wear them.
Yeah.
So almost like I would say 90% of the stuff I buy for my kids, I at least break even on. A lot of the things I buy for them, I even profit off of. So
Yeah, for
Basically,
sure.
my kids have a nice wardrobe, not just Carter stuff and like normal everyday stuff, but they have like I'm pretty materialistic when it comes to my kids' clothes, even though I look homeless most days, but I buy them the nicest stuff and I can break even on it because people are willing to pay up for the nice stuff on Kittison.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy was saying she didn't have Facebook Marketplace turned on her account, and Crystal had said that most of her Kittison sales were through Facebook. Is that the case that you find as well?
Recently I have been getting more Facebook sales. I'd say recently is about half, but normally I'd say like 20% Facebook, 80% in-app sales. So yeah, the Facebook thing only is maybe a year or so old. Like it hasn't been there the whole time that I've been on Kittison, but so I still think of any sales that come in through Facebook as like bonus sales. But
So does it automatically post into Facebook, or how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know if I can show you like, will my phone show up on the screen if I?
There's a possibility.
Maybe.
It might focus. I don't know.
No.
I'm thinking make her big.
Yeah, hold on.
All right. So like if you're in your app, just go to your own page, click on your little settings thing in the corner.
There you go.
Yep. And then just click on shop settings. Yeah, you can't see it, but the one that says shop settings. And then if you just scroll to the bottom, there's like a little switch that says Facebook Marketplace, and just make sure it's turned on. And then all your stuff automatically just transfers to Facebook. And then whenever you list new items, they just go straight to Facebook. You don't have to do anything ever again. It's really awesome.
That's nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Basically cross-listing for free. And yeah, most of the stuff I sell through Facebook lately has been women's shoes. So they're selling for like $30 to $50 a piece. And it's awesome.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of people drop in that just trying to pick everybody up.
Yeah,
Triflippers here, Brian.
If your listings are already like, you mean like if you already have stuff listed on the platform, yeah. If you turn that on, they'll go over even though they're already listed, if that's what you mean. Like you don't have to make them go to Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you ship like through Facebook as well?
So the sale comes in through Kittison like a normal sale in the app would.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just say at the top Kittison Facebook buyer, and then at the bottom it'll have their address and everything. So it's not just local. A lot of people when I talk about it think that you're, the people are coming to your door. It's nothing like that. You still get like any other sale, and
yeah,
you get paid through the app like normal. Kittison takes their cut like normal. So
okay. People come knocking on your door.
occasion resellers. So like if it sells to a Facebook buyer through Kittison, it does remove it from your Kittison shop, if that's what you mean.
And that would, let's say, now that your listing would list perfectly, if it sells through Facebook and all that, it won't mess with your list perfectly. You can still like just delist it.
Yeah.
On all the other platforms, yeah.
Return
policy for Facebook or just for Kittison in general?
For Kittison in general, I'm sure she's talking.
It's technically no, it's like Poshmark, no refunds unless the item's not as described. So, yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I haven't really had anyone try to return anything.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up is, have you ever had it happen?
I think I've had there is a Facebook page called Hello Kittison, just kind of like to get information about the app. I've heard people saying that some of their Facebook sales came back as like non-deliverable, but I've had hundreds of Facebook sales and none of them have came back. So, but if that did happen, Kittison would cover. I buy all my shipping through Kittison because they cover like a lot of stuff if you buy the shipping through them. So if that did happen, then they would give you a new label or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing about Kittison is you get paid as soon as your item scans at the post office. So essentially, if you make a sale in the morning, ship it out that same day, you'll have your money by the end of the day. Whereas
That's
Poshmark and stuff, you gotta wait till it delivers, till they rate you, till it hits your bank. So, and then like on Kittison, you're cashing it to PayPal, so you can have your money straight in PayPal versus waiting for it to go to your bank for a few more days.
Yeah, Tracy, like she said, she does have a video that's like basically how to do the whole thing, Kittison. So that might be helpful to go through and with that. And Ginger's on IG, guys. Like, I mean, she has a big thing on there. I'm sure she wouldn't kick you away if you said it. I got questions. Like, I'm sure she'd be happy to help. But
it does take me some time to get back to my DMs, but I usually answer them eventually. It's kind of like the last thing on my plate for the day. So
yeah, there you go. There you go.
I like your Instagram is just always you holding a bajillion packages. It's unreal.
But
It's
if you join with my code, I'll definitely help you before someone else because I'm getting something out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Not really, but, like, I want to help you more because like it's like a mutual helping each other.
Tracy's like, I'm out. I'm going to watch it now.
Bye.
Yeah, I know. It's like dropping the card in your video and somebody dips to watch the other video.
Yeah.
One of those things. Okay. One of those things. I mean, honestly, I think it's impressive that you just started YouTube in March. And, it's kind of crazy because what you're doing kind of flies in the face of a lot of the advice you hear. I've heard people say no one's going to watch just a what sold video, right? But apparently people are watching. Like, I mean,
I still tell myself it every day, even though I know that we have over 5,000 watch hours in 3 months. So, like, it's just crazy. I'm very thankful. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, most people, myself included, I've been doing it longer than that. I'm not there yet. And, you putting out that what's sold. And, I went and watched numerous of them today where I'm just sitting there looking like, man, this is the kind of stuff for me. It's information that in a category that I know zilch about. Like, I mean, one of the main reasons I think I don't do clothes is because the only thing I know about clothes is shoes. Like, I know about athletic shoes. I'm very limited in everything else. So I kind of steer clear. But, when you look at that and see how the success you're having, it's great. It's great to see.
I mean, I just think it's awesome. Like, especially because you have Chris, who seems very comfortable around, with the camera, in front of camera, and behind it too. And I mean, the quality looks great. I don't know what you guys are doing, but
you just have an iPhone and he has one of those things that holds the phone in it. That's about it. So
yeah. So for anybody who's got like gear acquisition syndrome, like, just know that Kathy and Chris were able to grow their channel with just an iPhone.
I mean, luckily you guys are like making your own YouTube videos and editing them and posting them. So like, it's kind of like two of us doing it since I'm the one talking, but then he's doing all this stuff. So if I had to edit my own videos, I'd be way behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the balance that Eric and I try to find, and we have Rev Resell in here who's doing this 21-day challenge where he's listening every day and posting a video every day. So I'm like, well, kudos to you guys. So I guess, what are some scammy stuff we got to look out for with Kittison? Do you ever encounter anything like that?
Not a whole lot. Same as Posh or eBay. I mean, if anyone's messaging you saying, hey, text me at this number or email me at this thing, to go out form, that's obviously a scam, but they're pretty good about like deleting those messages right away. There's been a few times where I've bought something and I could like almost tell that, okay, this is too cheap. So either this person is a scammer or they are just don't know what their stuff is worth. And a few times that ended up being a scammer, but Kittison does, give you your money back if that happens. So I've had somebody like, I bought like a nice Patagonia something or other for like $20 and like what I got was stained up Children's Place shirt. So things like that. It's only happened. I've bought a ton of stuff off Kittison, and that's only happened maybe like 3 times where one person sent something. The other people just tried to get the money and then somehow used a recycled tracking number because, again, once the item is scanned, your money withdraws. So
sure.
So
was it hard to go through that return process? Like that's I'm like, oh, like how do you even go about like getting your money back?
No, especially because like Kittison is so small, so it's almost like a community. Like everyone knows everyone. So like even the people that are the owners of Kittison and stuff, like I can message them on Facebook Messenger and be like, hey, this person scammed me, and they'll be like, oh, okay, and just give me my money back. So I mean,
that's awesome.
If you're not like otherwise, just email customer service. They're really good about getting back to you within like 24 to max like 48 hours. And
yeah, so. Well,
that's
good to know. If you're having issues, go with Kittison. You can just go hassle the owner on Facebook.
Yep, and definitely join the Facebook page if you're on Facebook. It's just Hello Kittison.
Hello Kittison.
Yeah, that's also their Instagram, so you could probably message them there as well if you need help.
Sean, in the description, there's a link to the app in the description of this video, if you can get there. It's actually a link to Kathy's referral code. So you can get there from there.
Referral code. I used to have like just 5 random letters as my code. And recently I reached out saying, can I get the code Ginger? And they said yes. So they changed
Sweet.
it. Yeah.
Talk about branding, huh?
Makes it easy.
Yeah. Did you message the owners for that and say,
hey, I mean, Kittison sponsorship. I think that's a quick way to get that house money.
They thanked me for sharing the code so often and said I'm probably the person that has the most referrals from it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Made me feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we know that, like with your Instagram, are you using that to bring sales to your thing? I mean, are you posting stuff up that you're seeing a turn that way? Like marketing?
Not really. Like recently I've started, since we could go back out to thrift stores after COVID, I've done a few thrift hauls, and like I'd say maybe 1 or 2 people out of my thrift hauls would find the item and then buy it. I have had some sales that way. But yeah, I don't really sell on Instagram. I just don't like having to do the PayPal invoice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay the platform fees and it's just easier, and like you're protected more, I feel like. So
for sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in their stories, do story sales, or I just don't do that very much. I probably should.
Yeah.
It's just I have 14,000 people watching me there, but it's just not really what I do.
Well, it's crazy. I know, like, I know I saw Tim in here earlier. I don't know if he's still hanging in their background somewhere or not, but I get his Instagram feed. He has like 4 different Instagrams. I don't know how he keeps up, but he's always dropping items in there, like pictures that he's took for those platforms, and basically pointing people to the platform saying, hey, this is an item. This is something I have. And then they'll go pick it up off the platform rather than him trying to do the transaction there. I mean, I'm sure there's times that people do it outside there, but I think a lot of times he's pushing people to get in one of his stores or something. And look
that's kind of how I started Instagram. Like, you remember when Poshmark was doing like, if you post this post and do these 3 things or whatever, you get like $10 Poshmark credit.
Okay.
Posh affiliate or whatever. So yeah, I just turned why my Poshmark or my Instagram is called Ginger Marvin is that was just my normal Instagram name. I didn't change that's just my normal Instagram that I turned into a reseller Instagram, I guess.
Right.
So I just never changed my name. Anyways, so I started posting those just to get the $10 Posh credit. And then I just started adding hashtags and stuff, and it just kind of blew up. I mean, it's crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, Santa and Sean, you guys missed it when Kathy's talking about her husband hooking her up with that shelving unit and then it doubling her efficiency.
Yes, it's bomb.
Yeah. So Y'all can hire him out. Apparently, he's just expensive. So,
Yep.
I'll get you like, sweet gum tree African wood from the ivory. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
The cheapest wood. This is just.
Dumpster dive plywood.
One of their things. Yeah, I'm supposed to be getting a shed next week finally, so I'll be building some shelving myself. And I'm like looking at that, going, that's a pretty good idea. I like the banker box idea. That's great.
Yeah.
I think they were like $1 to $2 a piece when you buy them in bulk. So we figured if one of the handles rips or something, it's easy to replace the buck versus totes are like $5 to $10 each.
Yeah. Well, I guess too with you selling clothes, like it makes perfect sense. Like I've saw in your resale videos where you're polybagging clear poly. Are you doing that?
Put them in there.
Like that's how you're doing as far as listing, like putting it in the poly, putting a number on it, dropping it in the box.
Yeah, we don't even do at first we were doing numbers on them, but the boxes are so small, I can only fit maybe like 20 items. So it's pretty easy to just find what you sold, I don't have my items aren't the same. So it's not like if I sold some baby Nikes, it's a good chance that there's only one baby Nikes in that whole box. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to just grab it out.
Tracy. She said, can you show us a mess, please? We don't feel at home here.
I don't know if you can see that mess over there.
Oh my goodness.
And
man.
Over here. That's my photograph, but not put away yet. And then over was my to be photographed mess.
I'm starting to look, man. If this shed don't show up, I'm gonna have to move outdoors, I think.
Yeah, I hope my wife didn't see that part. Ooh. Exactly, Tracy.
So Tracy's like, what, man? Yeah,
that's awesome. Death pile. You got a death pile?
A little bit, but pretty small. I mean, when COVID was around and I had a pretty big death pile, but I got through a lot of that during that time. And then I'd hate to say death pile because at this point I'm scared stuff's going to shut down again and I want to have a death pile. So
yeah, right.
I probably have maybe 300 unlisted items, but again, I list 100 a week. So that's really not a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been trying to source more for fears of another shutdown and, or at least bracing for one.
Yeah. I've been on that grind. I filled my van today, real big.
I hope a lot of people are playing golf during the shutdown.
Yeah.
I want to try the bins again, but I'm just the one closest to us is probably a 30-minute drive. So I don't really know the rules. And I don't want to have to wait outside and then not know how long I can be inside and then have to drive home. And they're only open 10 to 6 now. It's just too much.
Yeah. My closest bin's 2 hours away.
Oh,
I've never been.
Yeah, I've only been a few times because it's just hard to work it out with the kids' schedule and everything. So
sure. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting whenever the school situation is. You can just bring them along with you, I guess.
I don't even think kids are allowed in there right now, but
yeah.
I've never bought them just because that's a disaster waiting to happen. I try not to.
I found some broken glass.
Yeah. When they were babies, I'd bring them in their little carrier, but since they've been toddlers, it's just too much work to bring it to any store.
You must have a gentler bins than some of the ones I hear about. Some people talk about having to bring bodyguards around you.
I haven't seen anything too crazy.
I know the videos of my bins are fist fights. People getting in fist fights. I'm I don't know if I want to wrestle for my my garbage.
The worst thing to do is just grab they just put a big bucket under the bin and then just literally throw everything in it as fast as they can without looking at it and then take it to their cart just so that you can get it. That's the most annoying thing to me. But
oh man! So do you have a favorite place that you like to source at?
For kids stuff, I love Once Upon a Child. Again, you do have to pay a little bit more for stuff than Goodwill, but they have a better selection, you know what I mean? Like, and they're
Mhm.
in really good condition versus most people that donate to Goodwill are donating worn stuff. So
Yeah.
for kids stuff, I have 2 local thrift stores that they're really small. I can get in and out within like 20 minutes. I mostly just look
That's
at
good.
shoes, and yeah, so I go to their shoes are all like $5 to like $7 mostly, and so I go there at least once a week each of those and get a bunch
Yeah.
of shoes. And then yeah, mostly Goodwill, but Goodwill's their prices are ridiculous these days. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the shoes are like $10 to $15, which I mean I've been paying it, but I don't want to. Like I'll pay
Yeah.
$15 for shoes if I can sell them for over 50 usually, but it's a lot to put up front.
Yeah.
I
What are your tips for kids shoes? I usually only just like pick up kids shoes that like have an adult version of it. But I don't know.
I did put out a Kittison, not Kittison, kids shoe. It's like 30 shoe brands that sell for $25 or $20 or more. So usually for kids shoes, I'll try to be under $5. But yeah, basic brands, Nike, Adidas, Vans. Yeah, most of them do have an adult version. So, but yeah, they're super easy to ship, and like most of them are under 8 ounces, at least like the ones I'm getting. So it's like $4 or less to ship them. If you're in them $5, selling them for 25, you know, you're netting about $10. That's good enough for me. When I go to Once Upon a Child, I can usually get 20 to 30 pairs at once. So that's about, I should net 300 or something. And I can usually go through the whole, they have a ton of shoe bins. I can go through them in about an hour. So.
Wow. That's pretty efficient. It makes all the difference when you know what you're looking for. That's for sure.
So I get jealous of people that are like, you know, selling all these, you know, their net sales every day, or they're getting $20 profit on each item. But right now with the little kids and only being able to source so much, I'm just like, I get as much as I can at one store in the quickest amount of time I can, bring it home, get it listed, and do it again. So instead of spending a whole day out and about, I try to go through. I do thrift a lot, but like once every day or two, but it's just for like an hour instead of spending a whole day sourcing. One day I hope to spend a whole day sourcing and then listing throughout the week. So
that's tough. It's amazing you're pulling it off though.
I'd like to welcome Greg into the chat.
Oh yeah, I think Greg has commented on some of our videos. He also lives in Colorado. I think he said he lives in Pueblo, right?
Yeah, there's a few Colorado guys. And I think Uncle B's still in. Jimmy is Colorado.
Jimmy's Colorado, dude. Yep.
Yeah.
Aaron's
Colorado. Yeah.
Best offer queen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, lots of Colorado.
Yeah.
Where do you guys live? I don't even know where you live.
I live in the ocean. Literally, I live in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Okay. It's like literally on a little island is where I live, which is kind of weird, but it's yeah.
Yeah, I'm just outside. I'm like an hour outside of Chicago. Cool. So
yeah.
Do you like go to Chicago to thrift a lot? I imagine they have good thrifting in Chicago, but
not Chicago. I mean, I live in the burbs, so we have a lot of thrift stores by us. And I mean, I'm originally from the Northeast, so I don't really see thrift stores like that. I mean, just by me, there's at least 5 within a 10-mile radius, and then like 2 Once Upon a Child like by me. So
yeah,
right before and that's how I kind of like started really thinking about selling, kids stuff, because we were finding things like boppy pillows, and when we were getting ready for our son to be born, we just bought, I don't know, we bought like $100 worth of stuff for like $20 on one of those fill a bag sales that they had. We're recondoing everything into a little bag.
If you like once your baby starts growing and you don't need all that big equipment that babies need, check out if you have like a local consignment, like we do JBF, but I know not every state has it, but most have some kind of big consignment sale twice a year. So That's where you
Okay.
just tag everything yourself at home. Like, you could sell a boppy for $10-15 and
Yep.
make most of that money back. So that's what I do for all of our kids' bigger equipment type stuff. And whenever my kids' stuff doesn't sell, like if I've had something in my inventory a year, that's where I take it to kind of clearance it out.
Yeah.
Get my $1 or whatever I paid for it back.
We got, it's funny because we got so much stuff, and before we had the baby, we weren't sure of the gender, so like we're just gonna hang on to it. And now we lucked out because we got all boy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nice having the boy, and now we're like, obviously he's growing super fast and he's growing out of stuff already, and we're like, do we hang on to it? Like, how long do we hang on to it if number 2 is in the works? I mean, it's gonna be a while before we even think about number 2.
My rule is sell it all and then just buy what you need. You're gonna realize you don't need half the stuff you bought for this baby.
Yeah, I mean, he's already like outgrown so much stuff. Like we can't even keep up. That's why we never even really went back to Once Upon a Child, because I didn't really know what I was looking at as far as like kids' clothes and developing an eye for stuff. And we were already like up to our eyeballs in like kids' clothes.
Yeah, so. Yeah, just sell it. Like kind of like about like I was saying, baby carriers used to be worth $150, and then when I sold them 4 years later, it was only worth half of that. So,
okay,
if you're holding on to stuff, it's gonna lose its value. You know what I mean? So
that's fair.
I would just sell it, get as much back as you can, and then if you need it again, just buy it. You'll find it again at one of those stores or sales for cheap.
Good to hear.
Greg had asked about sourcing tips for Once Upon a Child, big discounts or special days they have, or
yeah. So what I do, they have a point system. So like as many dollars you spend, you get points. I almost always spend enough to get a 20% discount. So every time I go in, I pretty much have 20% off the list price. And then they do clearance out stuff every few months. So it'll start at 50 and then it'll go to 60, 70, and then they'll do like $1 day. So I usually go to the 70% off sale and then the $1 day and just buy up a bunch of stuff then. But the normal sourcing at there, I'll just go through all the every time I go in, I'm going to go through every bucket of shoes. They pretty much have new shoes there every week. Like I could go every Monday and it'll be like a whole new selection of shoes. So I go through every bin of shoes, and then what I usually do is look at girls' dresses. So, I mean, that might be weird for men to go like looking at girls' dresses by themselves or something, but the girls' dresses are the ones that sell for like high money for me. So, like,
okay,
I'll look for like the boutique dresses, Matilda Jane, Persnickety. I mean, those higher end dresses like that. Mine sells them about $6.50, and then with the 20% off, I'm a little under $6 with tax. So those sell 30 plus usually. So I'm just kind of like scanning the aisles. I don't look through everything. I don't have time for that, but I'll scan the aisles for prints that I know. I kind of can recognize if a dress is one of those brands that I mentioned. But
good to know. Persnickety dresses. I'm gonna send my wife over there so I don't look like a creepo looking through little girls' dresses.
Just by yourself with no little girl.
Still money.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I had a little girl, so I did the whole dress stuff and all that kind of stuff coming up.
I'm always jealous. It makes me happy that since I don't have a little girl to buy stuff for, at least I could pick out these cute things and put them in my store.
That is one of the cool thoughts, though, as a reseller is, I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that you get to find cool stuff for people to enjoy, like
a personal shopper.
Yeah. Like you find stuff that you're like, man, someone that actually really wants this thing, and, they're obviously paying for it, but it is kind of cool that you get to pick stuff. I've been getting a lot of antique stuff lately myself, and I'm like, man, it's kind of cool that I can pick stuff that I've never seen before and to move it on to somebody else. So.
I'm literally amazed every day when I send out my sales that anybody's buying this stuff and like how much people are willing to pay for stuff. Like it blows my mind still 4 years into it. I'm like,
yeah,
thankful that people want to give me money and I can go shop for them pretty much. So it's just
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
neat. I mean, I'm sure even with what you're doing clothing wise. Like you find some stuff all along. You're like, man, I've never seen that. I've never seen something like that. Like just something different than the average, ordinary.
Mm-hmm. If you ever see something weird, look it up. I've found so many new brands. Just I can tell it's a nice quality or something. I'll just look it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. My oldest daughter, worked retail for a little while, clothing, and she's one of those people. Like where if she goes to the thrift with me, she can sit there and just feel everything. And she's like, oh, that's so good.
This is wool. Oh, this is leather. Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, or she's like talking all this language that I don't understand, heathering and all this kind of stuff. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, is there a girl named Heather? Like, what is that?
I always joke with Chris that he's going to have to do my, like hold up the stuff that I sold and be like, oh, this is a dress with ruffle dress, floral.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, she got into LuLaRoe for a while. Like she was doing that. And so she bought a bunch of inventory in that and was like, so she's doing all the lives, like basically what we're doing right now, but she would be auctioning stuff off all the time. And, so I'm listening to her like do these descriptions and stuff. I was like, how can you tell that's what that is? Like this pattern and that. So it's kind of interesting to see.
Sad what happened with LuLaRoe. I had like 20 pairs of their leggings at one point.
Yeah, we had a closet load of their stuff. My daughter kind of dipped on them. Like she did it for about a year and a half, and then she was done. Yeah. And so after that stuff sat in my closet for about a year and a half after she was done, I was like, hey, what are we doing with this? And that's honestly what led me to get into reselling. It was that like, hey, like we need to unload this stuff. And then I actually put it on Let Go, and it got gone. Like somebody came and bought it all. I gave them a great deal, but I was like, look, here's the deal. It's if you want to cherry pick it, it's going to be like super expensive. But if you're going to take it, then you can take it, and we'll do it. We get it going. So it's kind of one of these things. So did you do LuLaRoe, or you just pick stuff up?
I just would. A few friends were selling it, and then I just liked the leggings.
Yeah.
I'm just comfortable. I like to be comfortable. I'm not trying to be trendy. Like it's weird because I like reselling fashion, but I don't. I'm not comfortable. I literally wear a Christian t-shirt and black leggings every single day. So I just really liked the leggings and had a ton of pairs of them.
Yeah, my wife speaks very highly of the legendary black LuLaRoe leggings.
Now I have the $5 Walmart leggings. So if I would have known those existed, I could have saved myself a lot of money.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how expensive LuLaRoe was when she was getting into it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, the dress was like $60.
Yeah, she had some of those like cardigan type things. Them things like $80 is what they're paying for, $90.
You're paying for it. Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of tanked out now though.
The unicorn prints and stuff. So some of the stuff you could flip for triple what its value was.
I think I've got one LuLaRoe thing left that somehow left here. But it was
a garage sale this morning where they had 2 racks of it, and they were just trying to sell it for $1 a piece, and nobody's buying it.
Well, you know what's crazy is I haven't seen them in here yet. In Redneck Resale. I don't know if you're familiar with that channel. But, yeah, those guys, they sell LuLaRoe at not huge money, but $15-$20 a piece. Yeah, like they said they pick it up cheap like that and flip it. I don't know. I said I tried to sell that when I first got in. Well, granted, I was just getting into reselling, so that's some of the stuff I put on Posh, and I also put it on eBay. And I might have sold 5 pieces. I had a ton of it. I think we had about 300 and some pieces, and I was like, man, I didn't put it all on there. I just put some, and didn't have much luck. So.
Before I was a reseller, I remember going to one of the little pop-up parties of theirs, and I bought a pair of the pizza ones, and I put them on eBay, and I think I got $50 for them. And I bought them for $25, sold them for $50 the same day because people were going crazy over them. And I didn't even know what reselling was. I was just trying to make $10. So.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
What is that? Have you looked into liquidation? Because I know they were liquidating Child's Place. Or children's plays?
Not really. I'm very picky with what I put in my store. So like I don't like palettes and stuff that I don't know what I'm getting. Like I like to pick everything I'm going to sell because then I want to sell it. You know what I mean? Like the stuff in my death pile is mostly stuff that either somebody gave me, but I don't want to just throw it away. It's stuff that's worth something. I'm just not excited about it, so I don't want to list it. So like that, I know that would be what would happen if I got a palette. It would just be a bunch of okay stuff, and I'm just not interested in it. So
fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, those things. Well, guys, if y'all have any questions for Ginger in the chat, we want to make sure that we're getting to that. I know it's funny. Sometimes the chat has a whole another conversation going on. But, I'm guilty of that myself quite a bit. We've been talking about
with all your friends.
We've been talking about how we do 7 yard sales, and obviously continuing to pray for Nikki T and Rev's family, dealing with some of the COVID stuff and that kind of things going down. Yeah, want to take a few minutes, and obviously, guys, if you're not at this point subscribed, but I think I've seen a lot of people that are saying they're getting on your channel, so we definitely want to make sure we do that. Is sub if you're not a part of Kittison and you want to be, then there's a link there as well. But Sean said I subbed right now.
So I know I've heard you guys say that you kind of want to do a little bit more and branch out with your channel. Are you guys able to share? What are you guys thinking like down the pipeline? I feel like Chris has got ideas.
He might, but I don't know if he shared them with me.
Top secret.
I don't know if he just means like garage sale videos or like thrift with me videos. I don't really know what he means, but
I think it would be cool to see a sourcing video from you.
Kind of what my process.
Yeah, especially because you have to be on a mission. You're very particular about what you're putting in your store, and you're not sourcing at the bins and Goodwill. You're going. Like Once Upon a Child. I don't see many people going there sourcing. I don't see too many videos of people sourcing there, but I don't go looking for it. So who knows? I
tried to like record myself in Goodwill the other day. It's like awkward. Like, what do you guys do? You just hold your phone, or do you put it like in a place, or do you have a backpack that holds it, or what?
Honestly, before I had a GoPro, I would be doing this. Like,
nobody ever said, "Hey, you can't do that."
People are just like,
I'm like such a rule follower. I'm like scared of like somebody saying, "Hey, you can't do that."
You know what's crazy? Okay, so here's another trick. If you're looking at your phone, nobody pays you any mind. Like, honestly, if you're just looking at it, you go, my daughter, she's got me on the big screen.
Since people are staying 6 feet apart, they might not be close enough to realize what I'm doing.
I mean, you could be talking into it, and for all they know,
I don't want to talk. I feel like I'd have to do a voiceover because I don't want to like talk out loud in the store by myself.
I mean, honestly, like I just do voiceovers too, because either like the music in the Goodwill is so loud, I'm worried about a copyright strike, or I'm just like awkward, like as soon as somebody gets kind of close, like I start whispering. I'm like, why? My wife's like, why are you whispering? I'm like, I don't know. Shut up. There has been one time like someone at Goodwill I'd call us out. Like my wife was like filming me, like picking something out of a bin. And they were like, "Oh, we saw that you were filming." And I was like, "Oh yeah, we post videos about going to Goodwill." And they're like, "That's cool." I thought they were totally like, "You can't do that in here.
They didn't even
give me your camera. We're gonna throw it in the garbage."
I like worry about just getting someone in the screen that doesn't want to be there. You know what I mean? Like not
yeah. I try and aim it down, I did have one my last
myself on somebody else's YouTube video just randomly, like, oh, I was in that store and they video recorded me. So
yeah. And I mean, I guess the only time you really have to be careful with that is some states are weird about recording. I know for us, like we're you can record anybody as long as you know you're recording. It's kind of weird. Like there's only one person that has to give consent. That would be you.
Yeah.
Like,
as long as you know you're recording them.
So you got a neon sign following you around, like recording, just flashing?
Nah.
No, that's what it is.
Just me. I know.
Then also I find it hard to like actually look through this stuff while I'm holding my phone and like trying.
That's the toughest thing. Like for me, that and if I need to look something up, I'm like, okay, I'm stuck now. I can't. Like, I've got to look at
phones.
Like how can I? And I haven't got to the 2-phone thing yet. Like some of those people, it's easier now. I actually tried out a little bit today. I just got my shoulder harness for my GoPro, which lets the camera sit like right here on your shoulder, which is weird. Even weirder than holding a phone because now you're like walking around like I've got my body cam on. But but you know, even at that, like occasionally people will ask, and like it's funny sometimes when you tell them what you're doing, they're like, "Hey, can I be on your channel?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Yeah, you're on it right now." Like as you make a fool of yourself. You're on there. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I clip my GoPro with this little backpack clip right here. It's just an $8 solution. So I went to go film a video at our thrift store today. Totally forgot my backpack, so I'm walking around with like the baby supply backpack.
Yeah.
This like backpack is way too small for me. It was like Tommy Boy, but instead of like Fat Man little coat, it's like Fat Man little bag.
So it's your like you put a GoPro in it, or you put your phone in it, or
I put my GoPro in it, so I can kind of walk. Yeah, and I kind of just walk around with it. You know, and this thing kind of pivots and it clips to wherever I need it to clip it to. So
I just need to be less cheap.
I mean, I'm kind of cheap too, so I'm like, because I don't want to fall, like I said before, like gear acquisition syndrome, where you're just getting a whole bunch of crap, and like, you know, you guys have had success with the phone, but I definitely think, you know, having one singular device that's dedicated to filming for you guys for sourcing will probably make your life easier. So
Chris definitely wants all the fancy stuff that people record.
that's
that stuff.
That's like his excuse, so he can get all the gadgets.
I think that's why he wanted to start YouTube, honestly, just to get all this crap that we don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. I recently got the GoPro. It does make life easier when you're sourcing to try to film for sure. And honestly, the app, like I love the app. I love to be able to upload right then to my phone because I actually edit on my phone or the iPad, like one or the other. So for me, it's that's perfect when it'll upload it right out of the gate. I ain't got to worry about moving cards around and hooking cords up and doing all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. So do you know Joey Bada Bing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always see him in all the chats, and I've seen some
as well.
Yeah.
How do you miss Joey?
Joey is Mr. Energy.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure that helped too. Like, you know, you starting that if you kind of felt the warmth of the community that like we both have, you know, it's encouraging too. Yeah. She's like, why are you watching me? I mean, thank you, but why?
Yeah, it's good. I'm trying to convince my daughter to do YouTube. So Brittany, you see her in the chat? Like, yeah. Oh. I've told her. They're actually testing for me. I picked up today. It's called Movie Time, and it's a projector with a DVD thing in it, and it's got speakers the whole bit. It's actually one of those you could put outside and project up on the side. So they were testing it in the living room. That's when they were joking me, say, "Hey, we got you on the big screen in there." Like, they're there watching that right now.
Nice.
We're just gonna peer pressure your daughter into starting a channel right now.
Yeah. Hey guys, you see Brittany right there? You can go right there.
I'm always torn about putting my kids in the video. Like I don't know. Some people seem like they don't like kids in videos, but then like I want to include them. So I'm always like,
yeah.
We know, and that's what's sold when they're napping. So
that, you know, and that's something that I wrestle with, you know, because I think being a part of the community and and folks kind of following my personal story and having a kid and stuff, they want to see the baby, but as a creator, it's like I don't know how much I want to expose him, so I kind of give a little bits and pieces. It's even my wife, like, try and get her in, but she's a different story than like a little kid. Yeah. I think people, some people will disagree with me as far as like, how to build your channel. But I think, allowing people into your life a little bit and just showing something a little bit more than just the robotic side of reselling. This is what I got. This is what I sold. Like, well, besides that, I also got to worry about like these 3 human lives, like my husband, my kids, and like, and if they're, 4 and 6 tomorrow, like what kind of destruction they're leaving behind.
Yeah.
I'm sure if people are watching my Instagram stories, they're like, dang, does this girl ever even see her kids? It's just like, I don't post what we're doing with the kids,
I figure it's because your stacks are so high, you can't see over them.
Sure, people are just like, oh, she's probably just doing work all day, but that's really not the case. Most of my work happens after 8 p.m. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, my daughter's 23. She's talking about her dog is like keeps coming to the office door to try to get in. And like so she's not like a young kid like that.
Yeah.
That's my baby that's 23, as odd as that sounds. But so she's actually the same age as Joey. One of those things.
That Joey's that young. I did not know you were that young, Joey.
Yeah.
My light went away again. Come on. And you got a postal office job? I always thought that was for like people like 40 or older.
Yeah.
Like post office workers just seem to be an older crowd.
Yeah. I don't know that Santa will hurt that. Does somebody have the trademark Santa?
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Unless you're like vaping and firing off bottle rockets at like homeless people, Santa, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah. One of those things.
I mean, otherwise, Christmas would be very bare on YouTube, right? Like, you couldn't talk about Santa?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's talking about his name.
Right.
Thrifty Santa. I mean, I don't know. It's obviously not used because you're the one using it. Like,
yeah.
Thrifty Santa, you should be okay. One of those things. Sean, you are dead on right. It's like a big family here. And that's one of the things, like Sam was saying, I mean, I feel the same way. A lot of times, like I'll watch some of my videos, I was like, dude, why would anybody watch this? Like, after I print it out. And then, I get all these comments. Usually it's the ones I think the worst about. The people are like, man, that was a great video. Like that kind of thing. There he is. He's been lurking on us.
Yeah.
With shooting with
dude, if it's the Lulu Roadmaster himself. Yeah. That's what we're telling people, Colton, that you love to sell Lulu Row.
He's like, you ain't gonna get rich doing it, but it'll sell. That's what he
Anyway.
It's one of those things. Yeah. Bin Laden. I don't know if you saw that, Ginger, with Colton. Like 4th of July, he was having a little celebration. He lives in Alabama, so bottle rockets are legal there. It's funny.
You say bottle rockets and Colton affairs.
Bring up fireworks.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, guys, do y'all have any more questions for Ginger?
I'm going to drop Kathy's link in here one more time for anybody who has not subscribed to her. Please check her out. Her referral link for Kittison is in the description below. So definitely get yourself some free money. And like Ginger says, she's got a 101 video, how to Kittison, on her channel. So definitely check that out.
For sure.
You could always DM me on Instagram if you have a question that I didn't go or anything, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Are you on any other social media platforms, Kathy?
Just Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, cool. Let me see if I can pull up your Instagram also. If not, I'm sure it's linked in your description.
Yeah.
Or it's just Ginger Marvin on Instagram if you have issues. No space.
Yeah. Well, we definitely we appreciate you coming on the show, and you know, I know that you guys have definitely. I think he's. I don't know.
What?
Santa's got an extra. I think as long as you put in your thing that if you're not the video is not for children, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. Santa, if you just go on YouTube and you can go to Creator Insider and just look up Coppola, COPPA. And, you know, I don't, dude, unless you're like gearing your reselling videos towards kids, I don't think you have anything to worry about. So, and then when you do list a video, there's a place for you to say whether or not it is for kids. So there will be people that review your channel and look at your channel. And I'm pretty sure they'll see that you're not like putting out lullaby music videos on there, or, you know, toy opening, toy review channels and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, making sure that no other question. Sometimes the chat jumps all crazy, like right here at the end.
Right.
But we do thank you for taking the time away from the little guys, and I know you have a busy schedule, especially knowing that how much you have listed and all the platforms you're dealing with and that kind of stuff. I know it's a lot, and we just want to let you know as well, like if we can ever do anything for you, myself and Sam, we'd be happy to help any way we can. If you have any questions, you know, about other things, or if you get into hard goods and you're like, hey, what about this? Feel free to reach out. And, you know, I'd be more than happy. If you have questions about Macari, Sam is your guy. And he knows a little bit about YouTube too, for sure. Like when it comes to analytics, he nerds out like me on that kind of stuff. We're still trying to figure it out, but we do thank you for coming on. And like Sam said, check her out. If you're not subscribed, do so. If you want to learn about Kittison, she has videos there that walk you through it. So once again, thank you for being here. You got any final words?
Thanks for having me. And yeah, before Sam invited me to be on your channel, I had never heard of your channel before, so I'm going to start watching your videos.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just did an 8-hour working live recently. So listed 80 items in 8 hours for like $2,500. So that's kind of what I had going on recently. But
awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping to get a video out tomorrow. I almost had it done today, but it was rendering so slow I couldn't get it finished before we got on. So one of those things. But yeah, once again, thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing your journey as it continues. And feel free to chat in the chats. And like I said, we encourage you, man. Keep putting out videos, and you guys, you know, don't be afraid to film in the store. All they can say is turn your camera off.
Yeah,
that's right.
Then I'll go cry in my car because they told me to turn off my camera.
Hey, I will tell you, I hand out my card all the time. It's crazy. Like I have a card that just talks about my YouTube channel, my Instagram. And, you know, you would be shocked the number of places that I go that I have thrift stores that watch my channel. Like, it's kind of weird. Like I have people at yard sales. Like one time I went to a yard sale twice, and the guy's like, hey, I was just watching your video this morning of when you were here last time. I was like, that's crazy. So, but you never know. More people are interested.
We'll start saying, I recognize you or something.
Yeah.
That's right.
So.
It's like, do I get a YouTube star discount on this Kittison or what?
That's right.
But All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate everybody coming on. As
right.
always, thanks for your support.
Before I forget, can I remind them of something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So next week we will have Phoenix Reseller on for anybody who is in selling video games. I believe Caleb sells on Amazon and eBay as well. He sources very different places that I've seen anybody sell before. So if you guys are interested in, the video game niche and kind of expanding your knowledge there, come check us out next week. So, and thank you again, Ginger. So,
all right, guys. Well, we will see you next week, 8:00. If not, definitely go check out Ginger's channel. As always, if you're not subscribed to Sam, make sure you hit him up, and we will see you around in the community. Good night.
good night.